All right, so I'm going to start this off with the XRP chart. Now, just to go through this again, I want to explain what I think the larger pattern is, right? So this is just my opinion. You don't have to take anything serious here. I just want to explain my view based on my methodology. So initially from the beginning, around 2013, 14, there was an initial move up, I believe, that is not on this chart, right? It would have been wave one, right? Would have gone from basically zero to wherever this is after the A wave, which is also not on this chart. But you can see the B, the C, and an expanded D wave, right? Expanded because the B wave within the D wave expanded also A, B, C, D, E, right? So what we've been seeing since that time, since that 2017-18 high, is a wave E. Right now, the reason why I've waited this long to really explain this is because there's a way that I want to explain it to you that will give you a little bit of like a perspective on why I believe this E wave looks the way it does, so choppy, so drawn out, so lengthy. So the move that we've seen recently complete, which I believe was that fake out move, was the end of a wave E, right? This is a very similar wave E to the one we're seeing long term, except a smaller in reverse, right? So instead of being the last move down, it's the last move up for a wave two. Now, in this particular wave E at the small degree, each wave, each progressive wave one, three, and five moved up in three waves, right? Which is why I could predict that that last move would be a zigzag. And funnily enough, it coincided with a bit of news, obviously. Right, but regardless, it still produced that last thrust and then came all the way back down. Hasn't quite confirmed yet, but to be honest with you, I think we need to go a little bit lower to confirm this. Right, I think we need to go all the way to the lows of last year to confirm this. So a break of that low for me is confirmation, but you can get confirmation also, a break of that area where I had it before, 0.39. That can be confirmation too, but even more confirmation is the lower we go. So when it comes to wave E, they can be either really sharp or really choppy. All right. Now, depending on the overall structure, I believe that in this case, it's obviously choppy. I mean, it's already been choppy since that time. And this chart is very similar to XLM, right? The only difference is XLM's D wave wasn't drawn out like this, right? It didn't have those extra subdivisions, but it was still a D wave. The other waves just happened down below in a different way, but I'll touch on that in the next video. But either way, since 2017-18, we still had a wave 1, A, B, C, D, E, right? It's still the same waves in XLM as it is in XRP. Now, the difference between these charts, XLM, XRP, is that XLM had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down to this point, and the bounce was a complete wave 2, right? So I believe that it's getting ready to move lower in a 5-wave move, which means a 1, 2, a large 3 coming, a 4, 5, right? Now, people obviously gonna not like that idea, which is fine. I mean, like I said to you, this is just my opinion. If it doesn't happen, whatever, we can look back and say, no, that didn't happen that way. Right. So that's if you're going to look at it from what I call a type 2 week 5-wave move, when you get it moving down in 5 waves for each wave, right? 1, 3, and 5. The alternative is that this first move was not a 5-wave move and it's a zigzag, right? Which means that what we're seeing now is potentially going to be another zigzag, right? But it needs to break this low, right? This low here, right? So basically what that means is that it has to go below all the previous corrective waves of the first and second waves, right? So if this is going to be a zigzag, right, and if this is um, not a 1-2, right, it's basically an ABC zigzag, then a move lower would signify wave 3 completed, right? So what this means is that, yes, that would be as low as it goes for the time being, right? And then what would happen is that you'd get a bounce for wave 4, right? I would say not that much of a big bounce because we've already had a drawn out wave 2, but it could be a sharp-ish bounce, and then we could produce, well, we'd have to then produce that 5th wave down, which would have to go below the end of wave 3 to be officially a wave 5, right? So this is how I'm seeing this. So whether or not it is a zigzag or a 5-wave move, obviously we have to wait and see. And it may not go as low if that's the case, but still have to, go fairly low, right? Some people would consider that fairly low compared to where it is now. And that would be the end of that wave E, right? So for context, look at this pattern here. This is a wave E. That's how I called that move, and that's the reason why I keep talking about this move, is because I wanted to use it as an example for the larger move down and how it can be predicted and how it can be just basically tracked along the way as you go, right? So if we go to the 1-hour chart, for example, right? Actually, let's do the 4-hour because it's pretty drawn out. All right. So from June 2022, we had a wave 1 zigzag, A, B, C, D, E, a wave 3 zigzag, A, B, C, D, E, and that's when I said we need that extra zigzag, which we saw. All right. So if what we're looking at in reverse is the same, it's a zigzag, then obviously, you're still going to have alternation between 4 and 2, right? So obviously wave 2 was kind of small compared to wave 4, which is drawn out, right? In reverse, that can happen as well. So wave 2 drawn out, wave 4 not so drawn out, right? And then final zigzag to complete the move. Okay, so that's how I see that, right? That's my logic, plain and simple, right? And look, it could be that. It could be that we're looking at uh, a zigzag that's going to have basically a wave C that's longer than wave A, right? And that's happened before. Look at the final thrust in that wave E. It was much longer, right? And that was supposed to be a zigzag. So can this be a wave C? Right? It can be, right? Yes, it'll be longer than that initial move, but like I said to you before, it's happened. That can happen, right? Things like that can happen. So, in a nutshell, that's possible, but it could be also a 5-wave move, right? We don't really know, but given that this first move down does look kind of like a zigzag more than a 5-wave move, I wouldn't discount it. All right, I wouldn't discount it. I wouldn't say that it's not possible, because it is possible. These moves are very choppy, hard to read. It took me quite a while to get this count, but when you compare it to XLM, it's very, very similar. And any other count for this does not make sense. Yeah, so look, I'll leave it at that. A lot of this stuff is repeating things I've said in the past, but this is the kind of thinking that it could lead down towards. This could be just wave 3 going to complete now. But like I said, we'd need to see a wave 4 bounce and then that final move down for this to be looking anything near like a completed wave E. So hopefully that's helped you understand at least my view. Thanks for watching.